morning and happy Easter. I'm actually doing this recording on Good Friday. I woke up this morning and had an interesting thought, one that I haven't had before, and it was, wow, a good friend of mine died almost 2,000 years ago. And I hadn't had that kind of a thought before, and yet that's how it felt today, and I think it was prompted by Thursday, the service we had on Thursday. Kind of brought it down to real, that the relationship that I've had with Jesus, however it has been through the years, is probably one of the longest relationships I've ever had. And what does resurrection mean to me? That is the question. And so I've been pondering that this week, and I'm going to start by just telling you something that happened this week with me. Just a couple of days, where through the day when I'm at work, I'm feeling guilty because I can't be at home. And then while I'm home, I'm feeling guilty because I'm not at work, because there's so much to be done in both places. And there's this constant feeling that I'm not enough. And hearing people in their places, like, I'm at home, I need to be productive, I need to be doing more, I'm not doing enough. And another story about a woman who was just walking on the street a few days ago, and somebody called out the window at her to say, I hope you get the coronavirus, and the things in the stores that are happening, and people overbuying, and just the things that are happening in reaction, the things we all do in reaction to our emotional state. And when I ponder, when I think about what resurrection means to me, I think of an unresurrected life versus a resurrected life. And this unresurrected life of what my behaviors look like when I'm acting out of fear, when I'm acting just scared and trying to make sure that I stay safe, or I stay healthy, or my friends and my family do, and that fear prompts a lot of behavior that is so scared. And that behavior is kind of what drives us apart from one another, whether somebody is scared in the house, alone and isolated, or somebody is shouting out the window. Those are reactions that are fear-based. And the thing that needs to be soothed is right here, is this fear. When I think of what I would like to be crucified with Christ, I think what I would like to be crucified is that fear. And all the behaviors that come from that. That is what I want to be relieved from. And I do believe that's what Christ came to do. He came so that we can have life, and have life more abundantly. That's the verse that I remember. And Christ was spreading that message. That is what he came to say. And yet this man of peace who came and talked about loving one another and having humility and having mercy, that so scared the authorities that they had to hunt him down, and they had to find him and arrest him and kill him. That was very meaningful for me through Holy Week, is that idea that somebody who did not deserve to die had died. And when I thought about our cross, how we wanted to have a cross and put flowers on it, and that came to mean more to me this week, as I thought, if I found Jesus' cross on Saturday, I would want to put flowers on it. Because this friend, this lover of people, died, and how horrible that would have felt. This time between Friday and Sunday is now, in this pandemic, similar to the Friday to the Sunday, to me, as it was back then, because Friday came and Jesus was crucified, and Saturday, and what a time of fear and uncertainty that would have been. because they didn't know that Sunday was coming. And here we are in this place as well, and we don't know how this is going to turn out. So many questions that we have. You know, what's the world going to be like? Are we all going to be safe? Are we going to be not able to hug one another? Will we shake hands? You know, have I experienced the last of hugs? And, you know, will we even be too afraid to go outside of the house? You know, if you're having fears like this, you're having fears like lots of us are. And the resurrected life in here is one of healing and hope. I don't know how it's going to end up. But they also didn't know Friday and Saturday. They didn't know that Sunday was coming. And in the resurrected life, see, that is the one where my fears get crucified with Christ. And on Sunday, in resurrection, that I now get to lay my fears, you know, the analogy, I guess, is lay my fears at the cross. And be able to have faith that I don't know the way that it's going to pan out. But I have faith. I'm going to have faith that what is happening now, that there's room for this in the world, and that I'm being taught the things that I need to be taught, that I'm being taken care of, and that my needs will be met. Because that is faith, you know. I heard a good saying, I hear it in 12-step, it's, you know, that maybe things aren't falling apart, but perhaps they're falling together. And I would like to believe that. And my resurrected life, the one that allows me that even in my fears, I nurture my fears. I care for myself in those times. And then I breathe. And then I want to actually choose the way of love. The way that Jesus taught us. You know, to love and to have mercy, and that we can live in grace, and that we can care about others even as we work through our own fears and realize that we're just more alike than different. That our fears may look different. You know, some people will be loud and aggressive, and maybe sometimes we're loud and aggressive, you know, or sometimes we're going to feel like isolating and other people are going to feel like isolating. But the thing that creates these behaviors is the fear and uncertainty. And that fear and uncertainty is the way that we relate with one another, that we are feeling the same, and that we can offer compassion to one another in these times, even if we're acting a little angsty. And that we have mercy, and that we have grace for people around us. That's the resurrected life, and it's what it means to me. That living a life of resurrection is no longer be driven by my fears, insanely driven. I would like to be gently led, and I want to be gently led by my faith and by love. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have a super happy Easter.